Hello one and all, welcome back to the Kingdom of the Gutes, the Kingdom of Ragnarr the Cuck. I have to report that I saw the most mystifying thing. It was a bit of a mindfuck. Okay, so here's what happened. We had a rebellion. You may recall last turn, a rebellion was imminent. It spawned, and then for whatever reason, the remainder of the Ebdanians threw themselves on the spears of the separatists and destroyed them, and then promptly started migrating. So the Stone Crows, led by Abelos, have crossed onto Britannia, and then Attico, leading the Wandering Warriors, this wandering tribe of wounded Ebdanians, has decided to camp out in the northern forests of Ireland. It was completely mystifying, and to top it all off, it didn't solve our problem with rebellions. Another rebellion is going to spawn, and I'm hoping the separatists will also attack the Ebdanians, or vice versa. I'm not sure. Maybe it was like some sort of family feud in that these separatists were like a far-flung cousin, and the Ebdanians were like, "Not while I'm around," and fucking clubbed him over the head. This is my place to rule, to reconquer, as it were. I don't know. Unfortunately, our Ragnar's plan for revenge has ultimately failed. Our assassin had to abort the assassination attempt for some unavoidable reason, unfortunately. I'm not sure what it could be, but the whole experience has somehow taught Wulfgar a valuable lesson, and now he is wiser than he ever was. I feel like this is going to be almost like a spy versus spy situation where Ragnarr keeps sending assassins after Wulfgar, but Wulfgar is so sort of aimless and unobservant that he just somehow stumbles through and survives all of these assassination attempts. Like someone goes to drop a piano on him, but he, at the last second, bends over to pick up a coin kind of thing, and that piano crashes down, and somehow the assassin ends up, like he's got the rope in his hands, and somehow he ends up hanging above the street and ultimately falling to his death. Maybe Wulfgar's just lucky that way, which would make a huge amount of sense because, I mean, look at Elfridir, Fandral, and Ozir. These are all testaments to Wulfgar's luck, despite his absolutely disgustingly destroyed face. He has a scar where his face once was, and it is horrid. Now, I shouldn't be so hard on my own son, but I forgot. I do, in fact, want to assassinate him yet again. Okay, Ragnarr, you still have the old influence to pull this off, so assassinate Wulfgar for me, would you? It's going to cost another 25 influence to do it. If we're not careful, Wulfgar is going to become more influential than us. I'm more powerful than you ever were! That's what he would say as he strikes us down. Somehow having achieved a greater level of influence than even the king of the Gutes. Okay, so we're going to stick in town for a little bit. What? That was not a merge in any shape or form. It was an incredibly lazy merge is what that was. We're going to chill in town for a little bit, recruit some additional units. I've got some hurlers now. I almost want to switch out these brigands for these thrall skirmishers because it's a money saver. We can get 2 skirmishers, nearly 3 skirmishers for each of these brigands. Now I understand that these brigands are good in melee, but usually I'm not using them that way, especially this early in the campaign. I'll just use the thrall skirmishers, possibly 4 units to back up my raiders. I would like to ideally use these guys to soften up targets, and then I can charge in with the mounted raiders. I like to use javelins as an anti-cavalry force, essentially, because a single volley of javelins just destroys, absolutely destroys a unit of cavalry. I would prefer to have 2 more units of spears. There we go. So we'll get a full stack here. And once we are healed up, it's going to be 2 turns until we're replenished fully. Apparently these archers are going to take longer, but that's just fine. The axemen, not so much. 2 or 3 turns. Once we've replenished, we can march out to destroy the Ebdanians proper, unless, of course, they leave us the fuck alone. Maybe if they leave Ireland entirely, we can let them live. Now, we are currently building a sacred ground. We could probably actually even upgrade our... I guess this is the town itself. We could upgrade the town itself for a small boost in gold as well as additional units. Pikemen, thrall spears, and warhounds. That would increase our food consumption. We're currently sitting pretty at like 78 food, and we haven't even specialized our farm yet. The fertility here is just average, so I think we could probably split the difference and go for a goat herd. Although I'm seeing that building these pastures allows us to recruit cavalry. Oh, I see. Whereas the old farms and pastures allow us to recruit skirmishers and crossbows. I would like cavalry. I'm not sure what else allows us to recruit cavalry. It seems to be not much else. It's just pastures entirely. Okay, well, that about settles it for me. I want pastures. Let's just make sure this isn't going to ruin us. Of course, we are going to get a bunch more gold. That's great. The food bonus, not as wonderful as I would like. Just a very small boost in food. Now, these are Nordic Mounted Raiders. Is that what we're going to be recruiting? Nordic Mounted Raiders. Okay, when do we get... Apparently we don't get skirmisher cav of any kind. Really? Well, that's interesting. What if we go to a town such as this? Can we actually look at the building browser for Tuestis? It seems to me... Okay, we can. City communal grounds. Black Blades, what the fuck? And Celtic Berserkers, good god. Okay, if we... Are there no city military buildings? Apparently not. Okay, well apparently we get most of our military units from farms as well as the city itself. Although we do get different units based on whether it's a town or whether it's a... Oh, no, we don't. So then why would I be getting Celtic Woodrunners here, but then pikemen and thrall spears here? It's because I'm looking at Tuestis, I suppose? I'm not sure, but all I know is that I want some... Sorry, that was a bit of a tangent for me to decide that I want pastures so I can get a steady stream of cavalry. Once we destroy the Ebdanians, or they fuck right off, then we can probably cross the old sea here. However, I would like to do a bit of... Look at this guy. Divico. That's a wonderful portrait. He's got stern eyes for sure. Man, the Pictish general as well. Oh god, look at that name. Andicombogius. Andicombogius. Okay, that's his name. That's a pretty sweet portrait as well. Looks like he's got a fucked up eye as well. Him and Wulfgar have something in common. However, Pompilia Agorius Vatia apparently is 2 children stacked on top of each other in an attempt to appear to be full grown. Look at this. He can't even stand fully in frame, although Ragnarr himself is not much better. But then again, he's a cuck. What can you expect? I was going to say, I want to send whatever sort of scout unit I can get. Maybe a fleet of some kind. Just to do a bit of scouting. It seems oddly fitting that Vikingir would be the one to lead a fleet, rather. Although Ivar is a taskmaster, which to me seems like a wonderful quality for a admiral. I think we'll get Vikingir leading a fleet. It's going to cost us 400 gold to get that going. That's just fine. He is sitting in a Drekar dragon ship. Good God. We can get a Skade longship or a Snekya longship. The Snekya costs more but is smaller. It's got light marauders on. Or we could get Norse bow marauders. I'm not sure what I would prefer. Let's just get the Doom Sailors. Oh God, that's cringy as all hell. Let's just get Vikingir to do a bit of scouting. I want to make contact with the coast of the continent. Perhaps we can begin to trade. Also, as a side effect, having a small fleet would be great for when we are sailing around, possibly to conquer Tuesis from the north. There's a small landing zone here we can see. Alternatively, landing just north of Eildon as well. Man, there's actually a lot of really good places to land in Britain, but I do imagine once we begin the assault on Britannia, we would do a 2, possibly 3-pronged attack. Saguntium, Corinium, and maybe not Eboracum. We could possibly besiege Eboracum. Shit. I'm sorry, I just hit the microphone. We could possibly besiege Eboracum to hold some units down, but you know what? None of this is important. I'm planning too far in advance. The Doom Sailors. Ugh. I think it's about time we end the turn. Shit. Wulfgar has an unassigned skill. Does he now? Let's get a little bit more tax income, or rather would I... It doesn't necessarily matter, I suppose, because he is, for all intents and purposes, a dead man. Once Ragnarr the Cuck saw that shit, there's no forgetting it, you know? I guess Wulfgar, or rather Vikingir, could use a slave trader, although I think... I suppose, yeah, he could use the old slave... Oh, shit me. I meant to click the slave trader. Okay. There we go. Let's end the turn. G golly. Oh, God. Of all things, Haraldir is vying for political power. We can block his promotion, or he's just going to install himself as companion, which is just fine. We've only wounded him. Shit. The story holds true. Wulfgar is apparently some sort of Mr. Magoo type character, and he's able to withstand these assassination attempts. Okay, let's see. I probably should have appointed Haraldir as a companion regardless, so that's just fine. It did cost us 4 control, though. I think I would rather be respectable anyway. I don't think we can actually... We can reduce our dominion by spending influence. Most of our influence is actually... Look at that, Wulfgar has done it. He actually has more influence than his father. God. Unfortunately, he was only wounded. Shit. Let's see that. An unfortunate injury. The assassination was a failure. The target was wounded. However, there were no witnesses ensuring that nothing leads back to you or your assassin. I think Wulfgar, he knows in his heart that his father is not at all pleased about him dicking his mother, which is, you know, pretty par for the course. I think you don't have to be some sort of mind reader to intuit that. Oh, God. Okay. Let's see. Rebellion. Caledonia at Ibernia. It is the... Oh, God. The rebels and the Ebdanians are raiding us. Shit, okay. The Ebdanians have a very weak army. We'll leave... What's his name? Dagamarus? We'll leave Dagamarus alone for a while. I think we have to march out to meet Attico, though. And we have to destroy him. We must destroy him. He cannot stay alive. Okay, we finally built the old sacred ground. And we could probably continue on down the line, although I would rather hold on to the old gold for now. Wulfgar has gained a traveler's robes. What sort of situation would Wulfgar find himself in where he would only be wounded but not killed? Maybe leave a comment below if you have a theory. Also, keep sending me names for the army. I've seen a few Odin's messengers, that sort of thing. I want something more historical, if that makes sense, more RP. Like when I see names like the Wandering Warriors, Odin's messengers, I'm kind of like, yeah, that's pretty fantastical in a way. I mean, like when I play as the Romans, I play with legion names, etc. So let's try to find some sort of there's a word, some sort of similar system. Anyway, I think we will march out here, scare Attico off. And here's my worry: if we pursue Attico, the rebels can march into Eblana and possibly capture it. Actually, there's only 3 or 4 units. Let's give the rebels another turn or 2 to reduce our public order. We'll destroy the rebels, then we'll deal with Attico. I definitely do not want to lose Eblana to some petty fucking rebels. Okay, I think we are able to end the turn yet again. Our son has set sail, and I think we want him to probably, yeah, just head for modern-day Netherlands and Denmark, etc. What is it? It's currently summer, fall, winter. I think by winter we can probably take care of the rebels. Provincial governor did... Oh, I see. Wulfgar is no longer governor, and this actually works out well. It gives us a good reason to appoint Ivar as governor and just sort of let Wulfgar sit on the backbench. Jeez. Okay, issue that edict. That one. Fine. Good God, Ivar. Okay, the rebels are still raiding us. I'm not sure if they're actually recruiting at this point. There's now 7 units rather. A 7-man army. Can you imagine that? A 7-man army couldn't hold me back. Alright? That's not even an army. That's not even a football team. Like a European football team. It's not even half of one. Okay, Wulfgar has received a wooden sword. How fitting. We have researched labor service, and that will allow us to build dikes, bone carver, enclosed fields, and that's about it. I think it's about time that we... I guess we can research Roman logistics system. Why not? Alternatively, defined army taxation. That's much better. I can see here we're already replacing units. Snekia longship with Nordic heavy marauders as opposed to light marauders. Nordic raiders instead of Nordic brigands. This is what I really dislike about Attila. I really hate the unit upgrade system. And I know there's mods to reverse it, but I'm not sure if any of them are compatible with this. Now, I realize what the developers were trying to do. They're trying to simulate armies changing with the times, changing with the circumstance, but it just annoys me that as soon as you upgrade your troops, you've suddenly forgotten how to train troops in the old ways, which I suppose thematically makes sense for the Romans, but none of the other nations. Not to mention that the units get more expensive, etc. But if you were to have played Attila, you probably are well aware of the problems with that system. So, we'll leave it as is, and I think... are we able to not raise forces, but rather recruit troops? I think we'll get another unit of skirmishers. Why not? That gives us 20 units, and then we can destroy the rebels perhaps next turn, if not the one after that. Okay, we have met the province of Gaul. Let's see what's going on with them. Oh god, again, just a horrible portrait. It does look it looks better than Pompilia Agorius Vatia's portrait. However, Serena Flavia Tuberta, his portrait is not much better. It looks like he's got a ginormous head. It looks like an orange on a toothpick. If you haven't noticed by now, I just like to say the Roman names as quickly as possible. Tons of fun. Okay, currently they are at war with Rome. Interesting. So it looks like Gaul, Hispania, and Germania have revolted against Rome. Well, this is quite a development. Were they always at war? Did I miss that? That would be quite embarrassing. This is quite the development. That means Britannia is cut off from the Roman Empire itself. Between Rome and Britannia stands a vast united European front. Okay, well, I hope that lasts until we're able to move against them. Let's see if we can get any sort of... I feel as if they're not friendly at all. And they are not going to become friendly unless... Can we join war against Rome? They are into that. Okay, so that is how we... That's how we enter the war with Britannia. We get a payoff from the province of Gaul. Possibly some sort of alliance. Okay, this is really shaping up. Alright. Let's, I think, end the video here. When we come back, we'll deal with both of these armies. Probably one right after another. 1-2 punch. I think we'll wait until spring to attack Atticus. And we can destroy the rebels in winter. I think that will probably... That may help our public order situation. We're letting them rebel. All of the dissidents are leaving, so we can kill them in the field. And I think we'll be fine. Germanic paganism is growing, slowly but surely. Christianity is dropping, as is Celtic paganism, due to local traditions. I'm not sure how long that's going to last, unless, of course, it is permanent. I'm not sure. Alright everyone, thank you for watching another episode of the Gutes campaign. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. I'm actually really looking forward to conquering Britannia now that I've noticed that Gaul and his buddies are at war with Rome. I'm liking the mod. It's a different sort of scenario. And it's really shaping up. So, if you like the episode, leave a like, leave a comment. I'm still tracking the feedback. I read all the comments. It's a lot of fun for me to read that. As always, my name is Incoherence. This has been Terminus Total War Imperium, and I hope to see you guys later.